Good morning. Thank you for joining Sandra P's Gen Extra. Thank everyone that has come into the live. I appreciate everyone that is in here for the live. This is Sandra P's Gen Extra. Welcome to the channel. I appreciate you. And as you can see, we are here. We made it. We made it through the season, the finale. I have one of the moderators already here. Good morning, Mama Bees. Thank you so much for coming in, speaking to everyone. I appreciate you so much. Anyone that comes in during the live, know that I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And we are actually here for the finale of Real Housewives of Miami. We made it, everybody. We made it. This has been kind of a tough season. It started off really fun. It got kind of dark a few episodes in, and I didn't know what was going to happen, but Guerdy made it through. Guerdy made it through, and we made it through. So we are still here. This is Real Housewives of Miami. They are on season 7. This is episode 17, and it is entitled Frosty Friendships. And if I can find any way to remember to remove this brand from over Guerdy's face, I will do so. If not, I can't really worry about it. So please like and subscribe. I appreciate that so much. And then everything that is said on my video is actually alleged, and it's my own personal opinion. It's any copyright is, we have a disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. And allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. So thank everybody for that. Again, please like and subscribe. If you are a subscriber, I appreciate you very much. If you're not, please go ahead and subscribe. There's some other shows that are coming on. Survivor is back, everybody. It snuck up on me. It actually snuck up on me. I don't know about this season, everybody. It's 49. I actually fell asleep on it, so I'm only halfway through. I am going to review it. I don't have an early pick yet. There is one kid from my home city of Yonkers, Rizzo. He made me laugh. He had a journey already, so I don't know. Usually I like to pick someone who I can identify with, that looks kind of like me, that I kind of want to root for throughout. But I have to watch the rest of the episode and see if that's the case for me this year, if I'm able to do that. Right now, there's just one person I'm looking at. So good morning, everyone. Welcome in. Thank you so much. So again, this is Real Housewives of Miami. You are with Sandra P's Gen Extra, and I thank you all so much for being here. We start out, last week we had a big event. We had Art Basel down in Miami. This was Adriana's event. This week we're going to have, it's the Christmas season, last Christmas, of course. So it's Christmas in Miami. So it's very sunny, which is strange for me. I'm from a place, Yonkers actually has 4 distinct, beautiful seasons, which is one of my favorite parts of growing up there. There's a whole Facebook page. I grew up in Yonkers, and people talk about the hills and they talk about the seasons. Miami doesn't have that. So it looks like summertime. The weather is still warm, but they are at Christmas time. We have a couple of events. Maddie Sell is going to throw a Christmas party. She says she loves Christmas. She's throwing a pajama party. So that's a cute idea. It's a pajama jammy jam, which is what we would call it in our community. So you come dressed in your pajamas and they give away gifts and it's great fun. But Marisol told us that the bros, Marisol, this is a silly name for women approaching 60. Welcome in, CC. The other moderator is here. We are well taken care of this morning. This review doesn't get crazy and the people don't get crazy. So welcome in, CC. Thank you so much for coming in. She spoke to myself and Mama Bees, and Mama Bees spoke back. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming in this morning. So again, they're at the Christmas party, competing Christmas parties, but not really, because if this had been anybody but the bros, they would have made a big deal out of it. But because it was Alexia and Marisol with the competing parties, it wasn't that big a deal. Also in this same episode, the Shojai group, which is Stephanie and Masood's company, they're going to do their Christmas party, and we'll talk about that as well. So we first start out, Marisol's house is decorated beautifully. She has all these stations set up, kind of kiosks, games and stuff like that, where you can win things. We have Larsa. Everybody came in pajamas. The group kind of split. It wasn't that big a deal. Alexia's party is going to be kind of like she's at a beauty spa that she and Frankie own. I heard that that place is kind of like one of those made for TV businesses. Unfortunately, I hope that's not still the case. But allegedly, y'all, and in my opinion, I've heard that there are not too many people in and out of Alexia and Frankie's nail salon beauty spa. So I want her to get that up and going. Okay, if that's the case, I don't like that at all. So they're going through the different kiosks. Larsa wins a pair of earrings. She says she just finds herself lucky. So Guerdy is trying to get this lady to customize a bracelet that she won. And she's like, hurry up, quick, quick, quick. Guerdy's doing that jump too hop to it thing. I don't care for that, Guerdy. Larsa didn't either. Larsa was upset. Larsa was like, who acts like that? Now, Larsa, stop. I've seen you be rude at people events too. Guerdy, I'm not going to say you were rude, but I didn't love how you were conducting yourself, trying to get this lady to hurry up. Take that crown off, take that crown off, because it was a bracelet, but she didn't actually like how it was assembled and it was customizable. But Guerdy wants the lady to do that right in front of her. I want to tap all of the kiosks. So I guess Maddie Saw had a certain number, maybe an hour or two that the kiosks were going to be at the party. It looked like a fun party. And we even get Adriana admitting Maddie Saw throws beautiful events. She has wonderful connections. We know Maddie Saw has spent decades in public relations in Miami. So Maddie Saw has a lot of connections. And Adriana says she gets very great gifts. People give her things they want her to try out and tell her clients about. And Maddie Saw re-gifts a lot of things. Now, we saw Maddie Saw earlier in the season lying about a re-gift. She's claimed that Guerdy gave her a re-gift. Guerdy didn't. Guerdy bought that, and Guerdy posted the receipt. But I loved looking at all the things that Maddie Saw had for her party. I'm not a big party thrower, but I am a party goer. So I love looking at what they were able to do with that. Alexia and Maddie Saw's two different events went off without a hitch. Alexia was having a happy hour at the beauty bar. That's what it was. Peter was there. Frankie, of course, ever-present Frankie was there. Frankie can be in the room at any time. I just love his spirit. He's one of the sweetest housewives, young people that there is. So he's 27 now. Peter's in his 30s. Peter was there too. He's Alexia's oldest son. So Alexia is claiming that events caused her to kind of abandon her business, but she and Frankie are back on their grind. Now, we know what I said earlier. Rumors are it's one of those made-for-TV businesses, but I hope Alexia and Frankie are back on their grind. We have Stephanie and Kiki. Let's see. Stephanie is over at Maddie Saw's event. Kiki comes into Alexia's beauty bar event. She brings Summer with her. Summer is so cute. Summer is Kiki's little daughter. Summer is about 5 or 6. So we find out that Kiki doesn't live that far from the beauty bar. Alexia has invited Kiki, her mother. Summer is so funny. They're filming, of course. She has an incident where she puts her face right into the camera. And I said, this is the cutest little girl. So she has a really big personality. And then we see her sitting there getting her nails done. So go ahead, Summer. I heard that the kids are sometimes paid. I hope Summer is getting a check. We see Maddie Saw in a confessional. Y'all, I suspect that Maddie Saw is slightly drunk in these confessionals. So she's slurring. The bros usually check with each other, but this time, Maddie Saw, stop it. So we see Kiki saying that every woman should have a plan B. She's actually at Alexia's business in the confessional telling us, because the men's are always going to turn on you. Always. Now, Kiki, you are showing Levesque. She's showing her father quite a bit, but she has not talked about Summer's dad. So I know that's a little nosy, Kiki, but are you going to give us any information on that? I know Kiki was engaged, but it did not go through. So is that the men's that you're talking about, Kiki? Julia, of course, goes to Alexia's event. She comes in. We get confessional. Julia, she is claiming that classical music has healing powers. That's true. I think any music, but not with Julia singing. Julia, I'm not going to get up off your neck because you acted a fool earlier in the season. You're going to do so later in the episode, and I'm not going to get up off you, Julia. So Guerdy and Adriana are in their PJs. And Guerdy, you being kind of messy, but I'll allow it. Guerdy is asking about, well, what about Julia? What, do you think that is disloyal? The way you've been a good friend, Guerdy is saying to Adriana. And Adriana, I think, has been a good friend to Julia. And we're going to hear differently later on. But I think she has been a good friend. Actually, Guerdy's words, I wrote it down. You've been a stellar friend. Adriana says, yeah, I have. So Guerdy is asking, she says, well, why is Julia kind of numb around you, but she has all this energy for everyone else? That's true as well. We've seen Julia get on her high horse and defend everyone but Adriana and Guerdy. So Adriana says she feels used. She feels discarded. She feels that Julia is a covert enemy. So y'all, that's strong words for a friend. A covert, meaning an undercover enemy. Ooh, I see it though. I see what she means just from the way that she assaulted Guerdy with that germ water. I see that. So we have Stephanie, Marisol, Adriana, and Guerdy at this Christmas pajama jammy jam. They are talking. Stephanie is saying, I know that things have been kind of deep between the two of you. Do you think you'll be okay at the Soj Christmas party? That's right, Steph, because this is you and your husband's business Christmas party. So we're going to let New Money do this. New Money is kind of stirring the pot, but she's right, because we know these ladies can act a fool at events. This was Maddie Saul's wedding event when Guerdy was assaulted with that germ water. Adriana says, it'll be good vibes. I will not bring negative vibes to an event. Keep that in mind, y'all. We know how Adriana is. So over at Alexia, Lisa is trying to convince Logan. Did I see Elle? I can't remember if I saw Elle, but they focused on Logan. Logan is her son. Elle is the little daughter. But she's trying to get Logan to get a manicure. He said, nope. He's got these little glasses on. He's like a little Lenny. He's so cute. She said, well, it has men in it. Manicure. It has man in it. Logan's not buying it. He does not let them touch his nail. Logan, it's okay for a man to get his nails manicured. Johnny is Alexia's friend. He had a party earlier in the season. Remember Alexia when they were still trying to ice Guerdy out, and that didn't work. Alexia earlier in the season did not invite Guerdy to a dinner for Johnny, saying she didn't want to turn it into all about Guerdy, which was the rumor about Guerdy. That's what they were using to ice her out. But this turned into an all about Alexia. She was screaming, literally screaming and crying about Todd at Johnny's dinner. Johnny was moving abroad. I think he was moving to Italy, and they were having a dinner for him. Johnny's asking Peter, how are things going with Alexia? Because the last time he saw her, she was kind of broken up over time. Peter claims he don't really get in their business. She doesn't tell him a lot about Todd. The last time he found out of what was going on, it showed up on page 6. Alexia walks up on them and apologizes. She said, I just want to protect you. Okay, now Frankie's her youngest son. He's 27, and he's had an accident, which has kind of stunted his mental growth. So Frankie is a grown man body, but he's somewhere around 14 or 15 or so when that accident happened. Peter is a grown tail man. Peter is up in his 30s, okay? And then we found out through Todd's 10-minute video that Todd had been taking care of Peter as well as paying all of Alexia's bills. But we got Peter on this screen talking junk about Todd. He can care less, but he doesn't want Frankie around somebody that doesn't give a care about him. Remember, the story was still that when Todd moved out, he moved out and kind of snuck and moved out and took everything, including the shampoo, and left Frankie there, who didn't understand what was going on. We find out that may or may not be true, but that is the story Alexia was telling. Alexia said, it's been a roller coaster over 2 months. We're learning to love each other better. But, you know, he could leave again. Could he leave again the way he did? Now, we find out that the divorce is finally final. Todd was threatening to sue Bravo. We didn't hear any more about that, but we'll see. Alexia's claiming they are hurt as a family. So we see Julia asking Kiki, where did you go the other night after Art Basel? I looked everywhere for you. Kiki saying, after everything that was happening, I jumped in with the Amazon driver. Y'all know I told you Kiki dipped out. As soon as Adriana started that, she's saying I'm racist stuff, and she was not. I haven't been pleased with Kiki this season, but Kiki got on Adriana about calling her ratchet. It was a microaggression. She did not say Adriana was a racist. That's something that Adriana took and ran. And Adriana looked a little suspect when she got her best friend Carol of 20 plus years that we've never seen. But here's Carol trying to vouch for Adriana to Kiki. So Kiki is telling Julia that she was still kind of upset about that, but she does want to talk to Adriana. So they'll talk again about it. So Kiki goes a little bridge too far. She says, well, I didn't say she was racist. I don't think no one in the group is a racist. Now, Kiki, you're in Miami. You're surrounded by white Cubans and white Brazilians. I will just go by my own experience. They can be a little white leaning, I'll say, okay, in my opinion and in my experience. So we get Julia. Julia is having an opera and foster care event. That's a different mix. Adriana is not going to attend. We find out that Adriana has been hired by the Sojai group. So for Stephanie's Christmas party, she has hired Adriana. Adriana has a 12-person band, and they are going to have rehearsal. The rehearsal has been long scheduled. We find out it is a very prestigious band. It's Emilio Estevan from Gloria Estefan, Miami Sound Machine fame. Yes, they are going to back Adriana at this performance. This is the day that they have to rehearsal. We find out that Julia only asked Adriana the night before, so Adriana does not attend this event. So Confessional Julia says Foster Care and Florida Grand Opera are going to be together. Julia saying music is soothing for trauma, and they've benefited the boys because, you know, it wouldn't be an episode without talking about these sweet boys. Thank God they received some kind of comfort. I hope they have more diversity come into their life, y'all. You saw the Godfathers, these two 80-year-old men over in Spain. And I still question their intentions. That's just my opinion. So Kiki is claiming Martina looks really good. She blows a kiss to Martina. We get Martina talking about Kiki's always flirting with me. Confessional Kiki tells us that she has a crush on Martina. She thinks it's the shortcut, and she thinks Martina likes her. Watch her, y'all. Remember, Kiki gave a whole lap dance at Julia's baby shower, and I said Martina was very excited about that lap dance. So Kiki, stop your mess. Because Julia, we find out later, Julia's been engaged no less than 9 times. We know she had 3 children, 3 baby daddies. So Julia has been on the other side of the fence, and now she's wrote Martina in. So don't think that Kiki couldn't change her mind and other behavior for some money and a champion. So watch it, y'all. And let's see, Julia can joke around if she wants to. We'll see what's going to happen. So we have Confessional Julia claiming, I'm hurt that Adriana is not there, and especially for the boys. So we get Julia. I combined Julia and Adriana's names, but it's Julia. Julia singing opera, bleeding like a goat, a diaper-wearing goat. And then some poor opera singer has been introduced as well. This is a real professional. She looks kind of pained, but she and Julia are singing to each other. And Julia's lying in a confessional. Martina and I believe that we have lost hope of adopting. And then we got the call. Julia, shut up. You and Martina, you were not going to have a problem adopting those 2 little black babies in Florida. You were not, okay? She claimed it changed our life. It changed our marriage. And then they show scenes of those sweet little brothers and Martina and Julia. I hope I'm wrong about Martina and Julia, but I just find them to be, I don't trust Julia's motives. I don't trust her. Her daughters were not speaking to her at time of filming. We find out that she's made up with one. The other is still a little upset. One has met the boys. The other have not. So we finished that event without very little going on because Adriana's not there. So the day of the Shoma group party, we see a mini scene of Guerdy getting ready. We see Larsa getting ready. Stephanie joking with her, the makeup artist. Shoma, the money issues. This is why Stephanie's not going to get over that new money allegations. She always does stuff like that. She's yelling, I love you, Santa. Christmas in Miami is so fabulous. We have Christmas without the cold. Kiki arrives first. Kiki's always prompt. I love that about Kiki. Kiki's in a beautiful red dress. She is excited to see Stephanie's setup, and everything is very beautiful, everybody. Kiki shows up. My dad is my date. Levesque, what are you still doing here? Is he going back to Haiti or not? I'm kind of annoyed with Levesque, y'all. I'm torn. I like his new relationship with Kiki, but y'all, if these comments slow down, I'll go back and put them on, okay? I think Levesque is kind of proud to have a daughter that's on TV, and I hope that he is not using Kiki, y'all. I don't like that. So Stephanie compliments him. Oh, Kiki's dad, it's so great to meet you. You have done such a great job with Kiki. Stephanie, Levesque allowed his wife, not even Kiki's mother, his wife, a stepmother, to put Kiki out at 15 for modeling with nothing but a backpack on her back. And we know that could have gone tragically, but Kiki's made a life for herself. Levesque is accepting Stephanie's praise. So he's something else. She said, yeah, I'll bring my dad. Kiki said, I'll bring my dad around a lot of women because he loves to flirt. Carmen from earlier in the season, everybody, from RuPaul's Drag Race, she makes an appearance. She has her boyfriend with her. Kiki says that the boyfriend is hot. He's nice looking if you like that type. So Steve is asking about Masood. Steve is Maddie Saul's husband. Where's Masood? Is Masood coming? And she said, no, Masood is not here. He has something else going on. Y'all, Masood has not really attended any events. He came to one of the building openings with Stephanie. And then, of course, he was there with bells on for lunch with Martina. He got a crush on Martina, which was really weird. I'm sorry, I have to turn the camera off for a minute. I turned the heat up, and I am perspiring just a little bit, okay? Okay, so we have Lisa arrives. Lisa is in silver and black. She is so cute. She comes in with Jody in tow, kissing Santa. Lisa's always over the top. She says, I'm not worried about Jody because he's a good Canadian boy, but I don't know about Larsa. So we see Larsa. Larsa's on her best behavior, everybody, but we're going to find out some stuff later about Larsa. Larsa says, I'm in the Christmas spirit, and I'm going to say ho, ho, ho. We see Jody greet Larsa. Hey, Larsa, it's nice to see you. Merry Christmas. And then she's cordial. Hi, Jody. So they speak. They don't have beef anymore over these texts that Larsa initiated. Kiki pulls Adriana aside, and she says, I want to talk to you. So they go aside, and she says, I want to apologize. This is Kiki to Adriana about the whole cake thing. I did it, but I wasn't coming from a bad place. I go back and forth. I think Kiki was still mad about the ratchet comment, and then Adriana's excuse for saying ratchet, pretending that she had said wretched. More is going to come up about that as well. Adriana accepts the apology. I think she should have been apologizing to Kiki as well. But Kiki apologizes. Adriana accepts it. We get a confessional from Adriana claiming, oh, I'm just going to stay in the Christmas spirit and I'm going to accept her apology. Kiki says, and again, Adriana, I think you're one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. And I hope that I'm as beautiful as you are when I'm your age. I see you, Kiki. Confessional Adriana says, was that shade? Okay, I'll let that slide. Yeah, that was shade. But I'm glad that Kiki apologized to her. So next we have all of the ladies end up showing up. Let's see who comes in. I don't really have the order that they came in. Oh, let's see. Well, they didn't bring up the racist thing, but I believe that came up later. I apologize. I don't know how these notes got scrambled. Sometimes I do a talk to text, and then sometimes I'm just typing in as I'm watching. I apologize. Okay, so the decorations are really beautiful. They have all these Santas. Stephanie is joking about, even though it's Christmas, of course it is warm. She said, but that doesn't mean you're going to get a Santa with muscles. You're still going to get a chunky Santa. And the Santas did look good. I thought that the decorations, everything looked nice. And they were having a lot of gifts. Carmen is there with the boyfriend. We did not have Masood. We had Maddie Saul's husband. Steve was there. Of course, Jody was there. Russ was not there. But Russ is a fire captain. Maybe he had to work for the holidays so that the men could be off. I don't know. So next we have, let's see, Adriana and Julia talked. And Adriana accepted the apology. Adriana, as we remember, she was practicing. She missed Julia's event because she was practicing with the 12-person band. So this band, Adriana's going to put on a whole show. Stephanie stands up. She makes some kind of announcement, welcomes everybody. They're going to give away gifts. She says, if you'll step to this area over here, she is going to introduce Adriana and the band as far as what's going on. So right before that happens, it says 30 minutes later. So production is like giving us a heads up that something's going to happen. Kiki and Marisol approach Adriana and say, Well, we missed you at Julia's event. Adriana saying, I'm sorry, I couldn't reschedule. I had a 12 people band. Julia texted me the night before. And actually, Adriana engaged them longer than I would have, because I think Maddie Saw was instigating. You don't care that your friend Adriana you don't care that, Adriana, you don't care that your friend Julia is upset that you missed her event. Adriana tells her to F off repeatedly. So Stephanie kind of sees what's going on, and she says, we're going to take pictures with Santa. Santa's going, ho, ho, ho. Alexia and Kiki being silly. They're joking. Oh, he's calling us hoes. He's calling them garden tools. He's not. He's just saying ho, ho, ho. So production has confessionals. We get like little mini confessionals. They ask, production asks Alexia if she's naughty or nice. She says that she's a little bit of both. Larsa Pippen is asked if she's naughty or nice. I haven't had sex for, I forgot how long she said. She said it's been a long time, but I don't know what Larsa qualifies as a long time. She says, does that automatically make me nice? No, Larsa, because you were being mean to Lisa and others and also being messy. So I think you'd be more naughty than nice, but I don't know. Kiki is saying all the ladies are naughty and deserve coal in their stockings. I might agree with Kiki a little bit, except for Guerdy. I don't see Guerdy really do anything. She got a little messy this episode, but I think she's deserved to do it. So the ladies are all gathering around talking. The party's going well. Stephanie invites them over. Adriana rushes off, sets the band up. They're waiting, and it appears they're waiting and waiting, because then Stephanie is like, okay, this is not a J-Lo moment. So she is being a diva, y'all. We hear her going, I need silence. I need dark, not this crap that's going on, because the people that were waiting in the audience started going, Adriana, Adriana, Adriana. So then we get Adriana singing, production, you were shady. They put up Fire, released in 2022. So that was one of her old songs. And then somebody comments in the crowd, we expected some new songs. And then Adriana, I mean, it was kind of a high energy performance. It was fun. She was in this red kind of flouncy dress, her heels, and she's dancing around. But she sits down to the piano. We know Marisol loves when she plays the piano. And it was Beethoven's Fifth. Dun, 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 dun. But it's, I love my dog. I love my dog. Yeah, y'all, at the Christmas party. So they're looking at each other. We get a confessional with Alexia saying, if you love your dog, you just love your dog. You don't have to sing about it. Larsa is shading. How do you go from Amelia Estefan to this? And then Kiki, my, how the mighty have fallen. That wasn't too nice, but I have to agree. Stephanie, I wonder how much Stephanie paid Adriana and this band. Because, again, this is Amelia Estefan's band. This is Sound Machine, so I know they had to get paid. Adriana, I don't know. I think you could have worked up some Christmas music or something else. I don't know. So we get Julia approaching Adriana. Let me pull aside my bestie to congratulate in person. This is after her performance. Julia's line, I'm really happy for you. Do you know that, Adriana? Do you know? I think Julia was looking for a moment, and Adriana is still kind of upset and hurt over things that have happened throughout these different events, especially at Arbeza last week. We saw Adriana yelling at Julia and Julia yelling back at her. I don't want to be your friend anymore. You're no fun anymore. So I had to call Julia a fair weather friend, and she is. So she said, do you know, I'm really happy for you. Adriana says, no, I don't know. Julia asks, why? Why didn't you come? And why didn't you come to my event? Adriana says, I've been singing for 14 years. You just started up this opera thing last year. Julia had the nerve to say, are you jealous of my singing? Julia, no, nobody's jealous of that singing, okay? We're not. So then they start kind of rehashing all this stuff that has gone on between the two of them over, I would say, last year and maybe even the last couple of years. Julia is stating that Adriana is not as good a friend to her as she thought that she would be. And they're arguing. They're both arguing. Adriana's yelling. She says, you are fake, mischievous, and a bad friend. The mask has fallen. I've seen you for who you are, and I'm going to treat you like you treated me. I'm going to treat you like a frenemy. Julia says, shame on you. Adriana starts walking away. Now, this is where Julia has a problem. She did the same thing to Guerdy. Julia gets behind Adriana and starts following her. Nobody should do this to Adriana. If you remember earlier seasons, Adriana was trying to walk away from Joanna Krupa, and Joanna grabs her and Adriana turned around and decked her. So you don't chase after Adriana. So she is chasing after Adriana. Adriana saying she's going to treat her like a frenemy. Julia saying, shame on you. Adriana spins around and Julia's looking weird. She says, good luck. Good luck with that. Adriana, are we going to leave things like this? She's still trying to get Adriana's attention. This is why I think Julia is so performative. I don't think she's begging for Adriana's friendship. I think she wants to still be friends with the popular girls, or as Adriana would say, the cool girls. And she just wants Adriana if she needs her for something. But I don't really think they're good friends. We get a confessional from Adriana saying, I don't think Julia knows who she is or what she even wants. I think Julia used me when she didn't really have any other close friends. She used me and then she discarded me. This is similar to what Adriana was telling Guerdy. And y'all have to agree. I see that in Julia. Julia she's a social climber. For her to, and then y'all, Adriana tells us, Julia is not to be trusted. She's been engaged 9 times. 9 times, Julia. Wow. I wonder if 9 rings and all of that. I guess engaged means engaged. So this woman was able to secure 9 proposals. And I don't think she was messing with no broke. But Mariana, she hit a lick with Martina. She actually hit a lick with Martina. She said, so she finally, after being engaged 9 times, she ends up with a champion. And Adriana, this was kind of mean, but I have to agree because it is true. She did marry Martina Navratilova after years of being with and having relationships with men. She is now married to a woman. She is. So while this argument is going on, confessional Stephanie shouts, this is a holiday party. These girls are crazy. They're fighting at a holiday party. We see another scene. Production flips to Larsa, Alexia, and Marisol, and they are really enjoying the party and each other. They're literally cuddled up in like a trio, hugging and kissing each other, and they are in the Christmas spirit. These 3 can be fun when they want to be. We get confessional Adriana still talking junk about Julia, and that she said that after landing this champion, I introduced her to everyone she knew. She never would have been found in that ish hole I found her in. Adriana, that's a little low, but I guess it's true. So we get confessional Julia saying, Adriana's screaming and yelling. We've seen Adriana screaming and yelling at people for years. Production helpfully shows us all of these occurrences of Adriana doing exactly that. We get to see her deck Joanna Krupa. We get to see her yelling at Marisol over the years. When she got into it with Julia over something else, we just get to see Adriana being her fiery Brazilian self. And then confessional Julia says something I don't know if I believe. She says, Adriana was my best friend in private for over 4 years, but over the past 4 years, I have been dealing with a freaking mental, psychological abuse, and I can't take it anymore. Here's why I don't believe it, everybody. When she and Guerdy got into it, when she provoked Guerdy and was trying to get Guerdy to argue with her, and Guerdy was just going to different places throughout Marisol's wedding party before Julia assaulted her with that germ water, Julia called Guerdy, you're psycho crazy, when Guerdy was trying to tell that story about what really went on the cruise. So I don't really believe that Adriana is secretly a friend to Julia and in public doing something different. I don't buy it. Stephanie's giving a nice speech because she sees the fights that's going on. She introduces, there is a Kiki-inspired drink. Kiki, so there's no open bar. I guess people have to pay for their drinks because the proceeds are going to a Haitian Health Foundation. She says Kiki is sweet and bold, and all of these proceeds are going to Health Foundation. Kiki stands up. Levesque gets his moment in the spotlight. He stands next to her. Kiki gives a really heartwarming speech. Everybody knows my heart beats for my own country, Haiti. He's really basking in Kiki's glow. He really is. She's happy. She's excited. She's saying, so everybody get drunk. Everybody drink up so these proceeds can go to Haitian Health Foundation. The ladies gather for Christmas pictures, gifts. Adriana claims that all she wants is peace on earth, y'all. After all this hell she's been raising all over. I still like Adriana. I can understand why she's hurt, and I do still like her. I watched her on Watch What Happens Live last night. She was on there with Tamra Judge, of all people. And she was saying that she has hopes for her friendship with Marisol. I don't know. We'll see what happens. The audience said 90 something percent. They did a poll. Do you have hopes for the friendship with Julia and Adriana? 90% of the audience plus thought no, their friendship is done. I'm with the audience. I don't think that they'll be friends again. So then Marisol, as all the groups are grouped together, Kiki says, Marisol, we have some information. Marisol, and Kiki, this is where I'm suspicious of Kiki. She's really working for that mojito, y'all. And Marisol as well. She's a friend of also. She says, Marisol is the one that gave Adriana the idea of ratchet versus wretched, but now Adriana was supposed to leave her alone for 2 years. So we get Marisol in a confessional. She said Pips told Stephanie that she was still talking about me after. So Larsa, you are messy. You remember we saw production shows us when Marisol, Stephanie was having lunch with Larsa, and Stephanie appeared to come to the conclusion that Marisol is a bad friend and the one behind the scenes kind of maneuvering people. That information supposedly came from either Larsa or Stephanie. So we don't know what's going on with that. I think Larsa is being messy. So this was from that lunch. How did Larsa get this information? And then Marisol is a little confusion with all these nicknames. But I knew when she said Pips, I knew she was talking about. So then Marisol is claiming that Adriana manipulated her. Adriana gets mad, y'all. She said that Marisol is lying. She said, I did not say that. She started explaining the ratchet versus wretched again. Sharon Gobble's not in here, but Sharon actually said Adriana meant ratchet, and she said ratchet. I went back and forth. I didn't know. And now, Adriana, I think you did mean ratchet. You did. You didn't mean wretched. And now we find out that Marisol gave her, okay, here's another word that you can say you meant, and it won't look as bad. I think Marisol is also producing, so I don't look like that. Adriana gets mad and says, you look like you're going to a funeral. You're old, you're wretched. And now they're yelling at each other, y'all. And everybody said, Adriana, we just got over this old thing. Don't do that again. Adriana doesn't care. She's mad. You look like you're going to a funeral. I thought that she was good. I thought Marisol was going for more. She was in black of a Breakfast at Tiffany's type look. I think she looked cute. I can't say Marisol didn't look pretty. She did. And then Marisol yells out, you look like you're going to an ice skating rink. They're yelling. New Money tells them, this is a Christmas party. This is terrible. Stephanie's yelling. Kiki says, gifts are going to calm everything. She says, the next time that there's a fight when I'm around, I'll give everybody a gift except for Adriana. So that's a little dig. We find out Kiki still got a little bit of smoke for Adriana. So this is the end, y'all. This episode looked like a lot of filler with the exception of all of those holiday parties. So I would rate it maybe a 7.5 because it did tie up the whole season. It tied up everybody's story. We show that Kiki says that she's buying a condo in one of Stephanie's building. So is Livette still going to be in Miami? I wonder about that because it says she and her dad are working on their relationship. Julia is going to get more time with her family. She gets another photo op in of those cute boys. Martina. Larsa introduces her new boyfriend. She bags another, guess what? Tall, young, black man, another baller. We see Guerdy asking Russell, compare me to one of the pets. He said that they have one of those bald Siamese cats. He names the cat. Production helpfully shows a picture of the cat. Russ, that wasn't right. But the son, I think his name is Liam, the little one, the 11-year-old. He and Russell are laughing, which made me laugh. Guerdy's laughing too. And she's like, that's not right. That's not right. So we find out Guerdy is still doing solo therapy. So that's good to hear. Jody and Lisa are still developing their relationship. And then we see a scene with Stephanie telling Masood, I'm still thinking of baby things. And I want at least one of my sisters to talk to me. They're twins. We know Stephanie going to try to throw in a joke. They're twins. I'll take one. So production fills us in and lets us know one of the identical twins are talking to Stephanie. Stephanie, just humble yourself. I think Stephanie's at fault, y'all. We see Marisol and Alexia talk. Marisol says, well, I'm glad where we are now as opposed to where we started out in the season. We see them having kind of a rocky time because of Marisol always talking about Todd. Marisol does ask Alexia, if you and Todd get back together, how is this going to work out because of all the ish talking that I've done? Alexia says, you are always going to be in my life, no matter what happens with Todd and I. We find out that production lets us know Alexia and Todd's device is final. We find out Marisol is looking for another wedding location. I put parentheses, gimmick. And then we have Marisol running around looking for, she says, we'll be serving cockies, but no water. So y'all still trying to joke about that? We're going with it. That was a joke. I don't know. I hope they don't joke about that at the reunion. This assault happened mid-season. I like the way Guerdy was able to recover from it because there was a clear icing out that was going on. It wasn't successful to me because of the rumors that were all coming out, the audience reaction. Even though the filming was already in the bag, Guerdy did put a lot aside. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. There is a 3-part reunion, y'all. I don't know if it's worthy of 3 parts, but they're teasing some type of big surprise. So I will be in residence. I'll be watching, and we will cover it. We see Marisol threatening, prove it or you're going to court. Marisol, did you show up to the reunion drunk? I know Andy serves them cocktails, but Marisol, you really need to eat something or just don't drink all the time. This is getting concerning, everybody, to me. Guerdy saying you can't start a fire and then be surprised when everything blows up. So, there was also a poll. Is Marisol the biggest manipulator in the group? The audience only thought half and half. So this was I'll give it, what did I give it? 7.5? Okay, I'll bump it up maybe to an 8. And then we'll see what the reunion gives us. So y'all, this was right here at 40 minutes. This was the end. This was the finale. Again, we have the 3-part reunion coming up. Real Housewives of Miami. We made it through a whole season. This is season 7, episode 17, Frosty Friendships. I think most of the ladies are in an okay place. I know that Adriana still has some tension with both Kiki and also Marisol. And then, of course, Julia and Adriana is the big one. Kiki and Guerdy are not in a great place. We'll find out what happens during this 3-part reunion. I want to thank everybody that came in during the live review, joining me here at Sandra P's Gen Extra. I was going to try to I thought I had one more picture of the ladies. I do not. So I apologize for that, everybody. Maybe I'll change the thumbnail and have something nice of them. But again, this was Real Housewives of Miami. Thank you all for coming in to Sandra P's Gen Extra. And I will see you in YouTube streets. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their Friday, has a great weekend. Thank you. Goodbye.